Hello, hello. Is it working now? Oh well, I'll get it tomorrow. Is it working? Is it working? Let me fix the chat. Hello, hello. You guys, did you guys make it in? Thank you for crossing your fingers. I hope that means you're in here. Hi, MK, are you in here? I'm in here. I may be the only one in here. It works? How's the quality? YouTube says it's an excellent connection on my end. Seems okay, that's good. Lovely. I have one problem. I cannot see your guys' chat in my window. So I think I will have to look at it on screen. But that's not fair. I fixed everything except that. Let me see. How do I fix this? God damn. Hi, thanks for making it, you guys. I think this is working. Why do I not get a chat? Okay, what if I unclick it and then click it back? Yes, I fixed it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is exciting. I don't know if I told you guys, but in the ongoing saga of Yami's live streaming issues, I downloaded a different app that people use instead of, I originally was using Streamlabs. But that apparently it's an app for like beginners, and they take more money from you in order to simplify and dumb down how to stream. But in return, there's like some stuff you just can't, like, you don't have a lot of flexibility. You just have to use the templates that they give you, and then when it breaks, it's unclear why it's broken. Or maybe that's just me. So and also they apparently lifted their like whole model of how they allow you to stream from OBS, and OBS is free. It's an open source software that anyone can use. So OBS Streamlabs was like, we're just gonna take what you gave everyone for free, and we're going to make people pay for it. So I switched to the original one, OBS. It's free. It's more complicated because it's not for beginners, but in theory, it's once you figure it out and set it up, it's supposed to be easier and it should work better. And the best part is that it's free. So I think I set all of it up. I think it's working, and I just fixed my own problem without my hands being held by Streamlabs. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I'm learning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm so glad that you guys could be here, because this is my one day that I can stream and chat with you guys about the HYBE corporate briefing, because I'm going on vacation on Thursday, and yeah, basically this is the last day I can do it. Tomorrow I have to pack, and then Thursday I leave, and I'll be gone for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, partying it up in Germany. So I will not be streaming in Germany, obviously, so I was like, we have to talk about HYBE. We have to nerd out about corporate shit and business. Happy vacation, thank you. And honestly, like, I watched the briefing and I was like, okay, like this is cool, this makes sense. And then I realized, especially the end of it, that I was like, this is honestly the nicest and kind of secretly sassiest like briefing that they've had to date, and it's partially a response to all the media play and bullshit that happened when BTS announced their solo activities and wanting to do, you know, like their own thing in chapter 2. And then the second media shitstorm that hit when Jin announced that he was going to the military. So this is HYBE. They've taken their time. They've put together their package of everything that they're doing as a business, everything that they wanted to showcase about themselves. And it was kind of like this is what we're doing. What the fuck are you guys doing? And yeah, and once I explain to you like how I've interpreted the briefing, I think you guys will all be on the same page. But yeah, how many of you actually got a chance to watch the briefing? I couldn't watch it on the day it premiered because I had a volleyball game at the exact same time. And then I had another volleyball game the next day, and I was just like, well, I'll watch it over the weekend. You watched it later too? I used to like watching it live. That was always fun for me. And then I would I don't know, chat about it on Twitter with you guys, but Twitter seems to kind of be not doing so hot these days. I think we're all starting to feel a sense of, I don't know, like it might actually be going down the toilet. Or is that just me? When Elon Musk first bought it, I was just like, yo, okay, it'll still keep working. Like, it'll be fine. And then all the news that keep coming out about what he's doing with it, I'm just like, maybe this website isn't going to be around for much longer. And then I saw other armies on my timeline talking about how they had like requested an archive of their tweets and all that. And I ended up breaking and also requesting an archive of my tweets today, even though at the same time I'm just like, what am I gonna do with this archive? Like, do I really need it? Like, and also in what format is it gonna come to me? Is it gonna be like one like 10,000 page Twitter or 10,000 page Word doc with all of my tweets? Is it gonna be like a text file? Like is it gonna be a massive PDF? Like, what does my archive actually look like? Or is it just a bunch of code that doesn't help me at all unless I dump it back into Twitter? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really sure what to expect or what I'm going to do with it. But it's coming. And I know we all made our little lists. But chat. Start chat, yeah. We all made our lists. And then a bunch of you guys subscribed to my list, which I'm like, cool, I hope it helps you. It's full of, I don't know, people who don't always only post about BTS because, you know, that's life. Like, we all have different interests. But yeah, cool, thanks. The one thing about following my list is that I'm not in it. So you get to see everything except me. Okay. Alrighty, so you guys ready? You guys ready to be smug? I want happier. I want happier background music though. Let's try this one. Doesn't seem happy. Nope. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay. Alrighty. So, even if you haven't watched this briefing, you can always go back and watch it later. I am not going to really, I think, talk about it in order. I'm going to talk about it basically as a whole and what you can take away from it, and then you can go back and watch it and understand like what HYBE was trying to do when they were explaining things in it. Because overall, from my perspective, the thing that, in my opinion, HYBE was trying to communicate with this briefing is that we know what we're doing. BTS was not our only, our what's the metaphor? Eggs in the basket. Like, we didn't bet everything on BTS. Well, not that's a bad way of putting it. What am I trying to say? Like that they're not solely dependent on BTS. They will survive BTS going to the military. They have understood what made BTS successful, and they are taking those elements and they've made a solid model of how to incorporate it into other artists, which I will explain in a little bit. They have, and they in the video, like in the briefing, demonstrated that they have a really good strategy of how they're going to basically be like industry changers. They're going to be pioneers of a different way of making music and connecting people with artists going forward. And that, and also at the end, they had a really sweet thank you to ARMY, because we were the ones who got them to where they were today. Our support of BTS and BTS blowing up is why HYBE is where it is today. And it was really sweet, and I really enjoyed it, and I felt seen as a fan, and I felt acknowledged, and my support was valued, and I was validated. So I really like that. And the other thing that I felt when I was watching that was really a lot of smugness, because I can't help it, and confusion, because basically, like, the things that HYBE are doing are things that you and me as ARMY understand about why BTS is successful. So let me do a little, I'm gonna play it down here for you guys, but let me ask you a question, and you guys please answer, and like feel free to give me a one-word answer or a couple words, it doesn't matter. Why do you think BTS is successful? Like, give me an aspect of why you like them, why you care about them. Because I want to explain to you why this is something that every ARMY knows and HYBE knows, but apparently other agencies do not know. I hope HYBE leads the trend and does bring back R&D for artists. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to give you guys a second to answer with this lag. Sincerity. Yes. Communication. Yes, they communicate with their artists. The artists communicate with their fans. Community. Yes, they've created a really nice community between us and them, and, you know, among us with each other. Genuine. Yes. Kind, sweet. Their lyrics meaningful. Yes. Yes, all of this. Anything else you guys want to add? They're relatable. Synergy. Yes, well, what kind of synergy? Yes, I agree with everything you guys are saying. They think of us even through their songs. Yes, completely agree. Passion. Yes, they're very passionate about everything they do, and it comes through in everything they do. Speaking their truths. Yes, they're not fake. Humanity. You hear again and again how human emotions transcend time and borders. Yes, completely agree. And that's why music is so powerful, I think, because you don't need to speak the language to understand some of the message. Human side. Yes. Yes. Incredible performances. Yes. Yes. You guys are nailing this. You guys are nailing this, and it's just hilarious to me because this is obvious to every ARMY. I don't know why, but they really like us. Yes, there's a genuine love from the artists for their fans. Trust. Yes, we trust them and they trust us. Humble. Yes, we really appreciate how humble they are, because I think it keeps them connected to us. If they stop being humble, I think a distance would grow between us and them. But yeah, but so everything you guys are saying is true. And you guys can all see each other's answers and agree with it, right? Like, to us as the fans, it has never been a secret why BTS are successful, right? And yet, the amount of agencies, the amount of labels all over the world who have tried to create the next BTS and have fucking failed is a lot. And it's ridiculous that they continue to try even now, because they're not understanding that there will never be another BTS. BTS are themselves. That is it. That's it. But there are things that BTS did that we like as fans and that we connected with, that are principles that other artists should aspire to, and things that can help draw that connection between artist and fan. So in a nutshell, what you guys said, why is BTS successful? They're sincere, they're authentic, they're relatable. They write their own music, I will also point out, which is why they're sincere, why they're relatable. They've connected deeply with their fan base, with us, and we treasure that connection. It's precious to us. And as a result, we are very loyal fans. We are also very opinionated. We are very vocal, and we are very powerful. We've developed a really strong community, and en masse, we can do things together that disorganized fans could not. And also, I will throw in that BTS have incredibly high quality performances and concerts that really pull you in and are beautiful showcases of their work, and that are also really hard to I've never seen anyone recreate the high quality concerts that they put on. But yeah, but okay, so all of those are basically like principles or aspects of them that have made them successful that we can all agree on, right? HYBE agrees on that too. And that's why in their briefing, what they did is they internalized these aspects, principles, these ideas of things that artists should aspire to have or to be. And they have internalized that and applied that to their other artists. And what they do in this video is they don't even lead with BTS anymore, because they don't have to. Because they're trying to say, we have learned from BTS, and you look at everything we're applying to all our other artists. They go through TXT. I'm going to skip ahead in this. It's like about here. I talk about the Seraphim. Okay, I'm trying to... Okay, there we go. They talk about TXT in here, and they're like, look, TXT, they write their own music. They help design their own concerts and their stage productions. They are focused on growing, on developing over time. And this briefing talks about how the departments at HYBE work with them and care about them and their art and their growth. So they talk about TXT. They talk about HYBE and how HYBE loves performing on stage. They also care about being sincere and connecting with fans. Apparently, HYBE is already like... Did you know that they're having a global tour right now? I didn't know until I watched this briefing. So apparently they're already holding like arena concerts. And that kind of blew my mind. I was like, good for them with like 40K fans, which is crazy considering they debuted during the pandemic. And that's actually something they talk about in the briefing. We fast forward a little bit. That like their world tour was like the first time they got to meet their fans, because they debuted during a pandemic, before any of that, before they could actually meet their fans face to face. And HYBE struck me a little off. Why? Because they're young? I mean, I'll admit that they're not my thing either, but I think it's a generational thing. I don't think that that is an artist intended for me. That is an artist intended for younger fans. Not to say that that's the only fan that they can interest, but I don't know. That's what I got from them. You went to both nights. I went to both nights at the Honda Center here in Cali for the HYBE tour. That's awesome. I don't follow the other groups, but I wonder what their fan age demographic is. One thing that is hard to replicate from BTS's ARMY. That is true. And again, I do not think that will ever be replicated. The one guy kept talking about me while the other one talked about the team. Maybe, I don't know. I don't care enough about HYBE to figure out what their group dynamic is. I mean, so there's HYBE. They talked about Le Seraphim, and how also the emphasis was on their own songwriting, that they were an artist who have just debuted, but they're already participating in their music making and they're growing, and they have a team that's very supportive of their growth and development. And then like the commentary that they gave from the artist also emphasized that their label, Source Music, sees them and their success as integral to the label as a whole. So basically it was kind of like saying like they don't see artists as liabilities who have to pay back the debt that they acquired as trainees. They see them as an investment that they're going to grow together with. So again, it was just like this big emphasis on how they're working with all the different departments and thinking of all of their different types of ways that they can grow in their art expression and connect with their fans. They did the same thing with 17. They talked about how apparently 17 wrote a song with their fans. I don't know if any of you guys are 17 fans, but from what I gathered from the briefing, like they had some song where like, you know, like they had all the different bits that you can put in a music production software, and they gave those to the fans so that the fans could play with it as well and basically remix the song as well. Am I understanding that right or not? Unclear. But basically it was also emphasizing that 17 has a connection with their fans, and they write music, you know, they write their own music and or with their fans, and they work really closely with their producer, and they have an equal relationship. And there was a focus on how the artists are constantly growing, developing, improving. Are you getting a theme here? The theme is that there is sincerity. There is a desire to connect with the fans. There is a desire for authenticity, to continuously grow and get better, and to, you know, be as high quality performers as possible, like over and over again. That is what is being demonstrated with each artist that is under HYBE. And I was watching this and I'm like, well, that's awesome. Clearly there is like, what do you call it? Like a mission. No, it's not a mission statement, but more like there's a set of guiding principles that HYBE has, and it's it's about connecting with fans. It's about being as high quality as possible in the content that they put out. It's about being authentic. Asking for and listening to fan feedback. Yes, you're right. I'm gonna get to that in a sec, Bung Luna. I think it depends on if you watched Island. Their fandom is very diverse because they came from a show. They like to see what the fans come up with. They have DIY merch too. Oh, that's cool. Cool. I like that. But yeah, so basically that was the gist, and I'm skipping ahead because this is like the second half of the video where they're explaining like what all the different artists are doing, and I'm giving you like the overall themes that they were presenting for each of these artists. But so the thing is like, okay, so here's what the artists are all focused on, right? And now the second, like the question that comes from that is, well, how is HYBE helping them grow? How is HYBE making their art, their content as high quality as possible? Like how is HYBE able to do this better than other labels, other agencies, for example? And the answer to that comes in the fact that uh HYBE has a bajillion different departments because they've internalized a lot of things that are usually outsourced outside of the label. So for example, typically in the past, you'd have a label who finds some kind of artist, or usually in the case of K-pop, I guess they find some kind of talent, and then they develop it into an artist that can be marketed to the public. And then they write a song with either an in-house producer, or they outsource it. They work with an external producer. Some kind of song gets made, right? And if it's a title track, then it needs a music video. So after that, when it needs a music video, they will find a director and say, hey, director, here's a song. Here's vaguely what we think, like, here's a rough idea of what we want the music video to be about, maybe, and the concept. And the director's like, I've done lots of music videos before. I'm going to suggest we do this. Here's my plan. Here's my vision. I'm the director and I have a lot of expertise. Let me do it my way. And so there's a lot of risk in that. Maybe the director's vision doesn't really connect with the artist, and in the end, the artist fans, because it's what the director interpreted as, and the director might not know anything about the artist. You also run the risk of the director just also not being very good, or I don't know, having some kind of miscommunication, and the final music video is not what you intended, blah blah blah. So there's a risk of a lot more money needing to be spent in order to in order to get a final product that will be something that the artist is happy with, that the label is happy with. So what HYBE does instead is everything is in-house. They have so many different departments that are focused on helping, like, when an artist, like when one of these groups comes up with a song idea, and they're like, I want to sing a song about youth. They're already at the very beginning working with the concept design team for, like, well, what does that look like? What would that look like visually? Like, how would we want to showcase that? There's a brand design team that's like, okay, well, if you're further along and you have a whole album, what would you want, like, the cover to look like? Is there a certain logo or like a brand that we can make? Like, think of Jack in the Box and, like, all those colors and the design of the Jack in the Box. Like, that's what the brand design team would do. Then you have the merch design team who's just like, okay, well, can we make some merch off of that, since we already know what the design would look like roughly. You also have the choreo team who's like, okay, well, let's think of choreo for the song. You have the stage production team who's like, okay, well, if you're going to perform this on stage, what would the concept be? Like, working with the visual team, like, what would we want this to look like on stage? Blah, blah, blah. So, like, instead of all of that stuff happening very slowly, from moving from one step to the next in the process, HYBE is like, no, we're going to do all of that at the same time. Basically, remember how BTS has always told us that, like, when they write music, they're already thinking of what it would be like to perform it on stage, because we've gotten them to a point that they don't have to wonder whether we're going to want to see any of their music live. We always want to see their music live. So BTS would always tell us, like we're already thinking way further down the line when we even come up with the concept for a song, and that allows for it to be, like, a better experience for us, right? Because when we see the song live, we're like, now we know what you were envisioning when you wrote this song. It's, like, much more meaningful. It connects with you better, and you want to see it again and again. So that's what HYBE is trying to do for these other artists, where, like, when TXT comes up with a song, they're already thinking about all the next steps: the choreo, the music video, the stage performance, a concert, whether there's a storyline associated with this, whether there needs to be some kind of, like, visual design for a brand, for for merch so that, you know, fans can buy something and feel included. Like, all of that stuff is being thought of from the beginning, and it gives everyone in all those different departments the most amount of time to sit there and think and be like, what is the best way to artistically convey this? What is the best way to make sure that the fans like this, that they appreciate all the thought that was put into this, and that they feel like this is like something that's wowing them, inspiring them. So basically there's a focus on the art because they have so much more time to think about this, rather than a focus on, well, how can we just quickly monetize this and make money off of this? Like, what's another way that we can, you know, like, that we can, you know, have a cash grab related to whatever concept the artist thought of? Does that make sense? Basically, it's literally because all of these teams are working from the beginning. They have more time to just sit and think about the art. They have more time to think it through, to be artistic, to be creative, to create something that's seamless. And that amount of care, that amount of attention to detail is actually something that we've always, I think, appreciated about BTS stuff, about everything that they've made, because it makes you feel valued as the fan. And I think it also helps the artist feel like they have this big playground to play in, to, you know, express themselves artistically, and they have this best chance to connect with their audience, with their fans, in an authentic way. What are you guys talking about over there? Breaking news, J-Hope performing solo at Mama. That's fucking amazing. That's fucking amazing. Yeah, you guys mentioned that before. I'm so excited. Both 17 and TXT have talked about working with the development staff until it's time to promote the album and go on tour. Then another team takes over when they focus on promotions. Yeah. Like that's what I mean. Like, there's so much support for the artist, and it's thoughtfully done, and it's done in a way that, like, can you imagine yourself as that artist? Like, instead of like, you've written a song and then you have to scramble to like come up with a choreo, to go perform it, to go promote it on music shows, to go you know, perform it at interviews and on TV shows, you know, to, you know, have a world tour. Someone is asking you like, this is the merch, are you okay with the merch? Okay, we're gonna put it out now. Like, everything is last minute. There's not a lot of time to think about it. We all know how busy artists are and how busy the K-pop model is. This allows everyone to have so much more time to think it through and to be happy with the final outcome. I just think if I was an artist in their shoes, I'd be much happier. It would make any idea that is being brought to life through my music so much more like 3D, 4D, 5D, instead of like, oh, I wrote a song and then I push it out the door, someone else worries about the rest of it. It's more like, I wrote a song, I have this idea, and now we're expressing it in like 5 or 6 different ways, and I'm connecting with the fans, and in the process the company's making money, and fans are like, awesome, I will give you money because you're giving me an experience, a high quality merch item, something that has meaning to me. But yeah, so that was really cool. And yeah, so like, honestly, most of this briefing is them trying to showcase that, and also showcase like, hey, also beyond the music and the performing, which is like what we're really focused on, giving you a super high quality experience. Like, they even have an aside where they talk about like sound mixing at a concert and how they work hand in hand with the artist to make sure that the artist is happy with how the sound is coming out, you know, towards the audience, which I was like, wow, that's a lot of minute details that they all care about. Love it. A+. And then they talked about like, hey, like, we're branching out. We have a game development department that are focused on trying to figure out how to make video games related to our artists, and our artists have a lot of input in that, so that as the fan, you can feel that there is something genuine in the game you're playing. I personally have not played in the Somme. So if you guys have any, maybe you guys have some more experience or feedback on that. But they were saying that like they made the games and they had BTS really involved in that at every step of the game, so that they wanted BTS to feel like you were hanging out with BTS in the game, right? Because at the end of the day, when you love an artist, like at the end of the day, we just all want to spend more time with BTS, but we can't because there's tens of millions of us and only 7 of them, and they cannot devote all of their time to us. So is there something that we can do instead that will still give us that satisfaction of spending time with BTS in some way without BTS have to physically being there? And so one of the examples is you have video games. Watching Jin's video where we got to see him discuss with the different staff departments for the astronaut was awesome. I love seeing him having that much influence. Yeah, it's really nice because I think BTS hide that a lot about how involved they actually are these days. Because I think a lot of the time, if you don't look for those moments where they're like really focused, involved in making decisions, it's easy to fall back on like when they were in the early stages of their career and you had all those Bang 10 bombs of them just like relaxing between scenes and no one knowing what was going on. And you're like, oh, I guess that's maybe what it's like now. But no, they've really developed themselves artistically and they really have an opinion on what they want to make. They're very vocal about it too. We see how that system works for Jin's the astronaut in the packaging, Wuta, merch, Instagram game, promotions. Exactly. Yes. And it works, right? Like as the consumer of the song, like you have this like basically all these different ways to celebrate the song and the artist and develop like interact with your community around your artist. So all this stuff is really important. Like what if this is a new artist? Instead of you just, if there was only music, then you would just be like, hey guys, I found this artist I like. Does anybody else like him? Oh, okay. And maybe you find 2 friends or 2 people online who also like this artist, or like a couple, but like there's nothing bringing people together. And by having like a game, all this stuff that you can talk about and share memes about and joke about and enjoy, there's more chances for people to talk to each other and to develop that community, which in turn makes you feel good in what you're doing and want to keep enjoying the artists and being a fan of them. I think it's great that HYBE encourages artist involvement. Me too. That's honestly what I want. Like, if I like an artist, I want to feel like I like them because of them, not because there's this beautiful illusion that their label made for me so that I could find them palatable. Like I want an artist that is involved in their writing. I want an artist that believes in the message that they're conveying through their music. I want an artist who is really expressive artistically in a variety of ways. Like that's what makes it fun. The multimedia aspect of K-pop has always been what a lot of Western listeners to K-pop find interesting, because it's more than what artists in the West usually give you. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's more, it's like a 4D way of listening to your artist. But yeah, the briefing video also talked about like the other stuff that they have going on. So I mentioned game development. Other stuff that they have is like the commerce backend team, which is people who are like working with Weavers and trying to figure out how to deal with pre-orders, making stuff available globally. Apparently they're currently working on an on-site pickup option so that you can order something on Weavers and then pick it up in person. They didn't say where, but I'm hoping it's like what they've done with concerts where you could order ahead of time and pick stuff up at the concert venue, like in the like merch like area where they have all those tents, because I think this is them continuously trying to eliminate those horrendous lines that you can get into, especially for merch at a concert. Like, I think they're still trying to figure out a way of like, can we just have everyone pre-order ahead of time and we'll bring you what you bought, you guys can just come pick it up at a certain time. Hopefully then the line would be shorter because you've spent time like on your own thinking about what you want and ordering it, and so we just have to hand it to you when you come. In the Somme is like playing in the soup with all the 10-year anecdotes and history. Aw, that's so nice. I keep thinking I want to get into it, but I'm worried that it'll just make me spend too much money. I'm very bad at like holding back, especially when I'm playing something related to BTS and my wallet ends up being too close to my heart. That's how I am with merch most of the time too. I'm like, but I need this. It's commemorative. Purchase. Or having people buy a ton of one thing and selling it on eBay. Yeah, that too. Exactly. I mean, they've tried to implement what do you call it? Like caps of like a limit to how many things you can buy at a, you know, from the merch tent. But at the same time, if they do that, then like they're losing out on money if somebody was willing to buy more, or if somebody was like, I'm here with a group order for like 10 people. I think in theory, maybe this would be like, you have 10 people who can all order individually online, and the person who shows up to pick up the orders is like, okay, here's my list of people who I'm picking up for. In theory, maybe. Yeah, something else that the briefing talked about was, okay, I'm gonna put this video away, no one cares. Is that they talked about something called momentica, which was a very interesting word, and their tagline is preserving cherished moments through technology. And I was watching this and I'm thinking this is perhaps the NFT technology that HYBE bought a while ago, because Le Seraphim was the one talking about it, and basically it was like they make digital photo cards that can be collected, shared, exchanged. And I think this is going to be through Weavers. So, and they were making this analogy that like the way like people used to buy CDs and now people stream online. So this is them saying people used to buy physical albums and photos, and this is a way to have digital versions of those so that you can, you know, do stuff online with them and have digital interaction. So I don't know exactly how this is gonna go, and but like basically it was like this this crew that follows around artists and like records them doing stuff, and then like your digital photo card seems to be like a clip of them doing that thing that they were recorded for doing. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm gonna need to see this in action. But also, I bought digital photo cards in BTS World, and that didn't really get me anywhere. Except spending too much money on digital photo cards that I can't do anything like useful with except look at them. And I mean, looking at them is nice and all, but it's been a long time now and I haven't looked at them anymore. So what was the point of spending all that money? I don't know. There's room for growth here. Yeah, another project that they're working on is called, like, we know about it. It's their The City project, where they basically take over a city related to an artist's concerts, and they do a bunch of stuff in that city to like make it into a festival, like the way the borification of Vegas for when BTS was there for their concerts. You know, like where they had restaurants have BTS themed menus, and they had nightclubs with BTS set lists theoretically, although in practice only one of the DJs played BTS music and the other one did not, and then everybody was pissed off and they brought back the original DJ. Do you guys remember that drama? And yeah, and then there was like a pop-up merch place. There was a pop-up BTS museum in Vegas. Yeah, all that stuff. So all that stuff was part of, oh, and then obviously they lit up the entire strip purple, which was really cool. And that was all like there to basically give fans a bigger sense of community and to make their whole trip more fun, so that it's not just like, oh, your entire trip is waiting on you going into that concert. That's the height of your experience. And then you leave and, oh, that's over. No more good time. Go home. You know, the festival, the city experience is supposed to be like no, your whole trip, like this entire thing is a celebration. And if you want more community and more fan interaction, you have a chance to go and do that. And if you don't want to, you don't have to, but like that's there for you. Or having people buy us. No, I read that. The next thing we need from HYBE is a real partnership with infrastructures in every continent. At least easier access to albums and merch. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It's getting kind of better in America, like access to albums, not merch. Because albums, I can buy it from Target or Amazon if I don't want to buy it through Weverse, and the like shipping is easier. But merch is still a nightmare. And yes, I agree with you. All of us have continuously said, like, fix your shipping costs on Weverse. We will buy more shit from you if you make it cheaper for it to get to us. I'm sad I missed out on the menu. I heard the food was good. I heard the food was good as well. I also missed out because was it? Oh, because I heard the lines were really long to go to all of those food places, and I was like, if I really want to get in, I'd have to go at a really awkward time, and my stomach does not want to eat at that really awkward time. And then yeah, I really wanted to try those things out too. They look good. Food was great. Oh, jealous. But yeah, and then HYBE was saying that the city project that they're trying to do is for 17 in Osaka in Japan. And they basically want to also make it like a music festival experience. Yeah, and even the person in charge of that department was saying that like the focus of like the purpose of these projects is to facilitate like reunion with fans and camaraderie with fans. Like it's there for fans to build community. Why? Because when you have a community, you want to stay. If you're enjoying an artist on your own, like that's great and all, but like you can just move on just as easily. When you have a community is when you stay, and that makes it your life happier as a fan, and that makes HYBE happier because we give them more money. Yeah, and then the last thing that the last like project or department that they talked about was the live broadcasting team, which is responsible for all of our concert live streaming stuff. And I know we haven't really forgiven them for the Busan concert. At least I haven't. But they're trying. And the interesting thing is that like in the little commentary they had from this team, they were saying that HYBE considers concert live streaming a complimentary service, not a replacement for live attendance. And I was listening to that and I'm just like, well, duh. But then I remembered that during the pandemic, when like these online concerts started happening, there was like a lot of chatter, especially from media, of like, oh, is this going to replace live concerts? Like, is people watching from the comfort of their living rooms going to be what the norm going forward? Like, are live concerts dead? And I was just like, I remember thinking, well, no. One, because the artist is always going to want live feedback. Like they want cheers. They want people jumping and clapping for them, or else that's performing into a void, and that's so miserable. And then for another, I want to go to a concert in person. There are times when I want to be in my living room. Like if I'm waking up at 5 a.m. for a BTS concert, then yes, leave me in my living room. But then there are other times where I want the full experience. I want to feel the like the energy and the heat of being in a stadium with tens of thousands of armies and all of us cheering our heads off and having a phenomenal time with BTS. Like, that is something I will never get anywhere else in my life. And I think that's something that armies all pretty much agree on. So I was just like, I know at least one fandom that will happily go to every fucking concert we possibly can in person. So I don't understand like what this speculation is coming from. So yeah, so this commentary in the briefing video was HYBE being like, no, we're not trying to replace concerts. That's stupid. We're going to supplement them so that more people can come. Like if there's a concert happening in a different country that you cannot get to, or, you know, because like tickets to a concert are limited. Like there is a finite number of people that can fit in a stadium, in an arena, in a concert hall. This solves that problem a little bit by saying, hey, sucks that you didn't get an actual ticket, but you can still watch this. You can still be a part of this experience at home. And as a result, it allows fans to participate in meaningful moments, concerts for their artists. And it allows fans to feel included even if they're not physically there, which again furthers that sense of community, furthers that like feeling of, hey, we all witnessed our artists getting emotional, our artists saying something touching, them being stupid on stage, being silly, being funny, all those things that we all appreciate and clip and meme the fuck out of online with BTS. Like every fan wants that experience with their artist. We all want to be a part of every concert if we can. And that's why I was listening to this and I'm like, yes, this is it. This is what we want. You've nailed it. And I don't think it's rocket science, and I don't think it ever was. But for some reason, none of these other labels seem to be able to seem to have figured it out. Where can we drop the feedback for that? Oh yeah, for the fucking shipping? I don't know. I want to. I want to say like, look, I don't know if this was your priority before. I don't know if this is an ongoing project, but I really think you need to prioritize this. I will give you more money if you make shipping cheaper. Give me a fucking Amazon like Prime subscription to Weavers Prime. If I can subscribe, I will buy more shit. Sounds like media has never gone to a concert before. Yeah, probably. Or they go to concerts and they don't understand what the fans are enjoying in it. Because, you know, like, if the experience that you get out of a concert with your favorite artists is much different than like a casual friend going with you, or a complete stranger who's like there at the stadium and it's just like, I don't know these songs, I don't know this artist, I don't know the inside jokes in the fandom, I don't know this connection, I'm an outsider. Some people are attuned to that and can tell that there's a connection happening even if they're not a part of it. But I think a lot of journalists are tired and don't feel like thinking about that. So it's much easier for them to be like, this is the hip new thing, not going to a concert. Watch it from home. Aside from the infrastructure, they need to give us merch that we want and don't relegate them to sold out. Agreed. I still want merch from PTD and other concerts. I was not physically there. Yeah, and then the only place you can end up buying those is either eBay or like the resale sites like K-Town for you. I remember IU talking about this with J-Hope. You know, not gonna lie, I still haven't watched that interview with J-Hope and IU. I'll get there. I'll watch it. My kid has social anxiety. She is really happy to have online concert streaming. Good. That makes me really happy. And I will also say I don't really like crowds, and I deal with them for BTS because I love them and because I know ARMY is going to be like 90% good. Maybe 10% of us will lose our minds, but that's okay. We'll rein it in. But like, I mean, like, we're responsible. We don't Like, I went to the worst concert venue experience ever at SoFi. It was a fucking nightmare. It could have been, you know, like crowd stampeding and surging everywhere. It was horrible. But none of that happened because ARMY is a fandom full of people who are respectful and who are responsible people who do not break the rules and do not, you know, do not behave in a horrible way for the most part. So yeah, so if live concerts allow more people who have something holding them back from going to a physical concert, whether it's financials, mental health, physical health, location, geographical distance, all of that is solved by having an online concert. It allows us to feel included, which I think is awesome. They definitely need to continue streaming of live concerts online. Yep. Again, we're all in agreement. It's like, it's a supplement. It's a supplement. Weaver's Prime. Can I get a Weaver's gift card? Isn't that a great idea? Come on, Weavers. Like, here's how you do it. You say, like, they kind of have tried to do this with the merch kits. Like, hey, you sign up a year and for the following year and you have the chance to buy merch kits. But all those merch kits, in my opinion, are like at a really high price point, right? They're like 60 to 100 bucks, if not more. Like, and you don't know what's in them. So I think instead what they should do is all the merch that they've ever put out for sale, and it's usually all sold out now, replenish it so it's all available, and then allow people the Weaver's Prime membership. So hey, you get a Prime membership, you can go back and buy any of this, buy anything you want, and whatever you buy in one order, we'll package it all up and send it to you together, even if it's from different merch drops, and you pay shipping one time for all of that. Wouldn't that be attractive? Wouldn't that be something you would actually consider getting? I'm a genius. There were Army and Moa who were picking up trash at Lollapalooza. That's amazing. And exactly what I expect out of our fandoms. Like, we are really responsible people. That's why I'm proud of us. Like, I'm proud of, like, the only good fandom. I went to LA by myself and some girls helped me navigate. I'm night blind. Aw, that's nice. Again, like, that kind of kindness and generosity in this fandom is incredible. And I love that it comes from a place of us being, like, being incentivized to be good people because BTS works so hard to be good people. You know what I mean? They did that for Busan, right? All the sold out merch, like the artist collections, were offered at Busan. Were they? I did not know that. Lucky them. I know there are limitations on how they control shipping prices, but the inability to bundle certain merch drops really bothers me. Agreed. Agreed. But that's why I'm saying it's like everything they've ever released for sale over the last 2-3 years, 3.5. Re-release all of it. You could even make it all pre-orders, whatever. I don't care. And then say you want access to all this old stuff. Sign up for the Weaver's Prime membership. And then whatever you dump in your cart, you can bundle it and it'll be one shipping fee. Like, come on. But also I want more options. I want more variety. We've talked about this before. Anyway, okay. So overall, that was what the briefing was about. It was about, we're going to take all the things we learned from BTS's success and we're going to apply it to our other groups based on having an infrastructure, an internal infrastructure in our company where we have all of these different departments full of a lot of creative people who specialize in different types of creativity and who have different skill sets, who are experts in different areas, whether it's business, whether it's IT, game development, visual design, merch design, like brand design, like all of these people who are focused in all these different areas, and they're going to work hand in hand with the artists as they develop their ideas and messaging and their music and make awesome music that's authentic and written by them with great producers and a lot of camaraderie between different artists. Like, we're going to create this amazing environment for people who are creative to be creative and to make art that is multidimensional and can appeal to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and thereby create community and create something that the fans can interact with and want to explore more and feel connected with their artist through. And then also they talked about upcoming groups that are coming up, that are debuting soon. One of which is an upcoming girl group. This is the one that they were having auditions for globally earlier this year. I believe they even had auditions in Vegas when I was there for the BTS concerts. Obviously, I didn't go because I'm not in the age range, but it was really cool to see stuff like that happening. Is this them working with Geffen Records? I think it's a collab between HYBE America and Geffen Records, which I believe is under Universal. And they were trying to make the American one. Yeah, and they said in the briefing that it was like a really diverse group. They finished the auditions and they have a really diverse group of people. And the way that they are like handling the management of this group, they even specifically said that this is like synergy and like an integration of the expertise of Korean talent and development and how they train, trainees with how and adapting that for American culture and how we do it in America. So it's the merging of music industries that is long overdue and is really cool because there are strengths and weaknesses to both the Western and the American music industry and the Korean music industry, and by combining it, they're going to make something new, something that's different, and that's hopefully like has the strengths of both and can be something that will help globalize this kind of music even more. It's really brilliant to create assets with the IP so that the artist remains focused on their art. Exactly. The American one. Yeah, this is the American girl group. They're supposed to have a show next year too. Ooh, I wonder how that works. Yeah. Oh, and then for the girl group, they again emphasize the authenticity of the members. Like, are you seeing the theme here? It's going to be repeated again and again because it's not rocket science what fans, like what we as people, as music listeners gravitate to and what makes a strong artist. And so HYBE's like, we're leaning into that. Like, please and thank you. They had a little snippet for Big Machine Label Group, which is part of Ithaca Holdings. Ithaca Holdings being the huge music label that was bought and works with HYBE America now. So part of Ithaca Holdings is Big Machine Label Group, and they focus on country music. And there's like a little intro about like why HYBE cared about them and why they didn't just pick up Ithaca Holdings, because that's where Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande are, and like they also picked them up because they wanted to get into country music and hip hop music. I don't know. But so like the people in the segment were talking about how both Big Machine Label and HYBE are industry shakers, they're trendsetters, and Big Machine was looking for a hip hop partner. So that's really interesting to me. They wanted to make country hip hop music, I guess. And that like there is a focus again on for them, they're looking for global like global hits. They're looking for music that crosses boundaries and genres, and they have artists and songwriters that have worked with K-pop, with country, across all genres. So again, it's this like theme of integration of making Korean music and the Korean way of making music and K-pop less foreign and less alien in the American music market and the Western music market, making it more like just integrated and something that will be the standard going forward. And I think that is so awesome. I think that is exactly how you take the struggles that BTS have faced as being the face of Korean music, the face of K-pop, as they paved the way in the West, and making the struggles that they've experienced as foreign artists in a foreign country less stigmatizing and painful for future artists. I think that's awesome. They even literally said, like one of the guys in the segment said, I think HYBE is the standard for where music is going, diversified in so many different fields with so much synergy. Isn't that awesome? It's a two-way street. They want access to the Asian market too. Exactly. And that's cool too. They also talked about another group that's debuting in Japan really soon. It's a bunch of guys. That's a guy group, and it's called And Audition and Team, like with the ampersand. And the ampersand is there because they're focused on connecting people and individuals, me and the world, you and me, like fan and artist. And again, their emphasis is on being a family, a team, connecting with fans, and they want to get big in Japan, and then they have global intentions, which again is great because that is the third biggest music market in the world. And again, it's the repetition of the same themes that HYBE is doing with everyone else. There was a segment on Cause Entertainment, which I think is where Zico is, and how he's focused on finding new artists to produce for, and focused on being authentic, creating real, second biggest market. Thank you. On being real and in his music as well, and how, so I think there may be a new artist coming out of that soon. Like, again, across the board, this stuff is being repeated over and over again, and I'm just like, thank you, you guys have learned what works and what should be working. Zico is the founder of Cause. Okay, thank you, that's what I thought. The Japanese group is made up of some of the contestants from Island and some new members as well. Okay, that's what I thought. I literally have a note in here that was like, Taki from Island? I think he was from Island, right? But yeah, and then they finished out the briefing by focusing on BTS. And it was a really nice like tribute to them about how much focus was put on the Grammy stage, and a reminder that BTS performed on the fucking Grammy stage when no other Korean artist has. They talked about stage performance and how HYBE is demonstrating what makes BTS so high quality and what makes their artists so much better than other artists. They talked about the Busan concert and how the BTS segment was really wholesome. Yeah, it really was. They talked about the Busan concert and how much thought they put into it and how they wanted this to be like a really special moment for fans, and they knew how much we love the song Run BTS. They know everything about us. They know what we wanted, and they wanted to give it to us. And then they finished out that little segment with the Busan concert by having all these like snippets from BTS's ending ments, with them all saying like, we want to be around forever. We want to be artists for decades to come. We'll be doing this in our 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, it's a clear reminder to everyone watching that BTS is not going away. They're not. Like, listen, if you didn't listen to those ending events then, here they are again now in a convenient YouTube video for you. they are going to be here. Their intent is not to go away. The segment on BTS was like a hug that we ARMY and HYBE as a family will be there for them. Yes, it really was. Yeah, they snippets of the solo stuff that BTS have done lately, and that they again like convey that like the reason this is happening is because like they want, like BTS want to mature and have further growth as artists by exploring their individual authentic selves, which is in line with HYBE's philosophy. And then Bang PD literally said like the company is where it is today because of BTS, and then that he and BTS both agree that, quote, they could not take a single step without ARMY, and that after 10 years that we're all family. Which I was like, damn, you know I'm watching this, don't you? They know that we fans tune in. It was really sweet. I got emotional. I'm getting emotional like talking about this again. He said that like they're working really hard to make sure that they give us the kind of content and artistic expression that we deserve as such longtime loyal fans who have supported them so much, and that they want to honor the legacy of BTS, and like they want us to help them do that. And then there was like this like little aside from someone even saying like that every time a BTS concert ends, everyone, including the staff, they want to know like what ARMY thought about it, what our reactions were. And in that moment I was like, you know, it's true, and I forget about it. Like, it's not just BTS who are involved and who care about our reactions. It's literally their entire staff, their entire massive teams. All these people who are like, did ARMY like it? Oh my god, that's why he's my bias. I fucking love that man. Love him, love him, love him. Yeah. They also said like that they understand how proud ARMY is of BTS and how much we love BTS, and they're inspired by us to work harder. And I'm just like, how could I have forgotten that there's so many people who, well, you know what it is? It's like, I've always known that there's so many people who work with and support BTS. But it had never occurred to me that those people also care about my opinion as a fan. And that was really touching. It really was. And then they had like this really cool thing where like people were giving keywords about like how they would describe their company in like a couple of words, and all of them were like, we keep growing, we're getting bigger, we're like one massive modern playground, synergy, trailblazing, setting the standard, borderless expression, like we're devoted. Like, what great words for a company. And that's exactly how they seem to me from the outside. They're constantly growing, exploring new things. They're devoted to the power of music and the future of music, and combining music and technology and connecting people with their artists even more. Because they stumbled upon that with BTS. They stumbled upon this desire for people to want to connect with others through music. And the fact that they have leaned into that instead of just trying to grind it into as much money as possible is really important to me, because in leaning into the community aspect, in leaning into the authenticity, in leaning into that, you know, high quality art, the money has come. The money comes on its own because you focus on the real things. This is not industry, this is art. The focus is on the art, and the money comes along with it. Because I think for most of us, when you put our wallet near our hearts, it gives more money really quickly. The guy who said that the next step is going to space was hilarious. Yeah, that was funny. I was like, interesting. I wonder what kind of conversations they're having. And then there was another aside from Bing PD where he was talking about this, like, I don't know, mission statement, ethos, like slogan that they use called one content, two fan. And it was basically like he was saying that the focus has always has to be on showing the fan that they're the most important, and the emphasis has to be on connecting with fans and treating them well, because fans are the support that drive the entire business and the artist forward, which I really appreciated him saying, because I think we all know and we all feel how often it's the opposite, and how so many other labels treat fans as like mindless passive consumers who can be swindled, who can be convinced to spend more money if it's hyped up enough, who can be convinced to support an artist if you promote them enough, and not based on the merit of that artist. And so I really appreciated Bank PD and him saying that. And he also said that like that one content to fan thing also means that they must always be sincere, and like be sincere in their efforts, because he literally said, he's like, fans can be your promoters and your marketers for your artist, and like they can also be your like check, your like your like balance as like monitoring agents who will scold you and guide you to where you should be if you take a wrong step and make mistakes. And I was like, interesting. I guess criticisms that we've voiced on the internet do reach them. And he also like literally said that HYBE welcomes the criticisms that fans give, and that they want to be honest with us, and that they want to do better, but like we also have to like give them some slack, because they have like their plans are not immediate, they're like long-term growth plans. I think that was how I interpreted what he was saying, that he was saying like, yes, in the short term there will be things that may annoy you and you might criticize them, and we will take your criticisms in good faith and fix things that we can, but there's other things that you just have to trust us and be patient. We have a massive long-term 5 to 6 year plan that we want to implement, and it's just going to take time to fix everything. And I think he was saying that maybe he was saying that partially for Weavers. Maybe, fingers crossed. But maybe I think he was also saying that in relation to like artists going away to the military, cough, cough. You know, artists taking time, growing slower than their fans might want them to. Like all of that. Bang PD also Kevin Feige moment where he said he has a 5-year plan. Yes. I found it really interesting too that Bang PD talked about how he's currently in the middle of this plan and he won't know if it will be successful until a couple of years from now. Yes, I thought that was really interesting too, and I think that was him saying like, I have a vision and I need buy-in from fans. Like, none of this works without you. So I'm going to do my best to keep moving forward, and hopefully you guys buy in and keep supporting. And you know, if you do, and if we've taken directions and made decisions that you support, then this is gonna be fucking awesome. So fingers crossed that everything you know, we make good choices and things are done well. And then I think what he said was really interesting. He basically said like his mission statement. I love how honest and direct Bang PD was. Yes. Like, he said that his mission in life is basically that he wants to provide hope and courage to people and walk side by side with them. And I was just like, first of all, his emotional intelligence is through the fucking roof. Like, that is a man who you want to follow, right? Like, I want to follow someone like that, and I know he's gonna fucking work me hard, but like with that kind of mission, like, you know, to provide hope, to give solace to people, to be a companion, like, that is clearly something we need in the world. And the fact that he's hit upon that and he's I don't know, internalized that is amazing to me. He sets the example for the teams to follow. Yes, he does. Tone at the top is extremely important for any kind of organization. And if that's the tone you're getting from the top, it makes you want to work harder too. It makes you want to be a better person too. Do other fans watch these community briefings? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's really special that we are a fandom that cares about this stuff and that we've been with them every step of the way. We've watched Big Hit and BTS grow from a tiny company with no money to where they are today. And they are there because of us, because of our support, because of our money, because of our attention, because of our protection, because of everything we've done on our own to push BTS, to promote their company, everything. And I think we've watched them become a public company, and we've continued to stay focused. And the amount of times we've all asked, how the fuck do I invest in your company if I live outside of Korea, has been ridiculous. Like, what kind of fan does that? That is not a typical fan relationship. And that's why we're so special. And that's literally why Bang PD says, like, we're family. You've been with us since the beginning. Oh my God. This makes me emotional. Ever since Bang PD has explained his vision on resolution of conflict for BTS, I 100% trust the guy. Yeah, agree. Where they have to figure out their problems together. I agree completely. Army has educated themselves to support BTS. Yes. Again, what other fandom is doing that? Anything, feels like anything any other fandom has learned is through our work, through what we've figured out. And why did we do that? Why were we motivated to do that? Because we cared, because we connected. And because we had developed a community with each other. Those are literally like the foundational pillars of a great fan artist relationship, and that is what HYBE has understood and brought to the rest of their artists and said, like, these should be your focuses, or these already are, and we're so glad we're going to support you to keep doing that. And it just also makes me from the outside be like, my support of you and your company was worth it. Yeah. Then they had like a little side of like upcoming events. On December 7th, that Japanese boy group and team is debuting. In January, TXT's 5th mini album is coming out. For BTS in December, Namjoon's Indigo album is coming out, as we know. And there's a, quote, variety of solo activities planned for each member ahead. So they're not giving us any other snippets. We're just going to have to be patient. But that's exciting. 17 and Fromis9 are releasing albums in the beginning of 2023. B-Lift, which is the label that HYBE is under, technically, is also debuting a new boy group soon. And HYBE is coming out with a new album after the end of their global tour. Adore has New Jeans. They're going to continue to promote music. Source Music has Le Seraphim. They are continuing to promote their album in Korea and Japan, and they are going to be doing a global tour soon, I think. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that they mentioned. And then the thing that I really liked is at the end, they said, HYBE will always evolve with you. And then they had this like this little thing, you know how at the end of BTS concerts they have like a special thanks to ARMY? Like they had a dedication at the end of their video, and it said, HYBE would like to express our gratitude to the dedicated HYBE team in Korea, Japan, and the US, invaluable artists, wonderful partners, and most importantly, our fans. Tell me whose fans are more loved than fans of BTS and HYBE. My bet is that Suga will be after Namjoon. That would be awesome. I'd like that. B-Lift girl group Island season 2. Oh, that's cool. Do you think the guys will be attending the Grammys in February 2023 without Jin? I think they have to, because they got nominated, right? It would be a waste for them to pass up this chance. It'll be hard though, because it's like they would probably be given the option to perform again, but would they want to perform with 6 instead of 7? I wonder what kind of discussions they've had internally about all this. I agree. Shugo would be next before his March birthday, then maybe Jimin after him. I think they'd let Jin leave to attend. I think that's not what... I don't think that would be received well, though, would it? I don't know. I don't think they will attend. We're all over the place, aren't we? I think... I also think it's hard because they literally, you know, have kind of just announced their end of doing stuff as a group. They're all going to focus on stuff individually. And then they got nominated as a group for the Grammys. So it's like Grammys are like dragging them back into doing stuff together. And again, regardless of my personal feelings on the Grammys and all of the shit that fucking award show has given us as a fandom, I know that recognition on that stage means a lot to BTS for whatever reason. That's what they care about, and I'm happy that they are being recognized in a system that is stacked so much against them. That does make me really happy. Will Coldplay even go? That's a great question. Pharrell BTS song could be promoted at Granny's. Ooh, that would be nice. That would be real nice. That would be really cool. I would like that. Because so why would they let Jin go? Because the government has been talking about, if that's what I'm what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Oh, yeah, and then that is true. HYBE's performing at Mama this year on his own. So if he's performing there on his own, then there should be room for Namjoon to perform at the Grammys. Honestly, I think Namjoon should perform, and then in a separate performance, HYBE should perform. I think if we're in chapter 2, we should be given multiple performances from BTS members in the same award show. They can now give us 7 different performances as 7 different artists, right? We don't need to see anyone else. We just need to see BTS. Maybe if they don't go, they would win. Maybe. This fucking show. But yeah, so overall, that is my analysis of the briefing. Oh, and I guess I really missed it. At the very beginning, literally the first thing that they say in the briefing, I think it's Big P Nim, he's like, there are like 2 ground rules that are like the foundational strategy of the business of HYBE. And it's like, 1, give fans more than what they've experienced in the past. So like you have to keep upping the ante. And 2, you have to make the highest quality content as you possibly can every single time. And to me, when he said that, I was just like, well, that's literally what they've done every single time with BTS. And that's why I've been fucking hooked, because I know anytime I tune in for something, anytime I buy something, anytime I listen to something, watch something, it's gonna be fucking phenomenal, and they're gonna outdo themselves from the last time. And that's why I've been such an eager fan, and I've thrown my money at them before I even know what I'm paying for. Plus, it just makes it exciting. So yeah, I mean, that's my analysis. That's my interpretation of the information that is presented in this briefing. I recommend watching it. Now that if you haven't, watch it with my framework in mind, and you will see how everything that they've put in there is all trying to convey these points. And also just laugh at how obvious it is to HYBE how to be a successful company and learn from BTS without trying to rip off the BTS and find the next BTS, the way that all these other organizations keep trying to and failing miserably. 30-minute BTS stage, please. Yes, I want another one of that. I still remember when they had those really long performances at Mama and MMA. It was so great. I didn't have to focus on anyone else, just them. The only possibility of attendance I see is if they are performing J-Hope RM featuring Pharrell, Augusty featuring Suga. Still not enough. Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, I'll take anything I can get. I will see anyone I can see. Maybe JK will go and he can perform with Charlie Puth. Or also the vocal line can perform with Snoop Dogg and the other dude whose name I can't remember. They can sing Bad Decisions. They have a bunch of songs with Western artists that they could perform. They really could. June debut stage at MMA. Oh, that would be great. Speaking of MMA, I'm still waiting on my fucking figurines of BTS and their MMA outfits. I'm never gonna get this. It's going to arrive like after BTS finish their enlistment. I'm gonna get it in like fucking 2025 or 2026. Or HYBE equal sign, which he submitted for social change. Yeah. I'm really proud of BTS for their 3 nominations. I really am. Like, the fact that they started, their first nomination was just like a album package design. And they've gotten to a place where they're being nominated for best music video, for songwriting, for song. Like, good for them. Really. Like, I'm so glad the rest of the world is catching on about how great they are. And that, like, even if they couldn't acknowledge that when BTS were performing music that was more quote unquote Korean, now that they're making music that is, you know, reaching a hand across the ocean to perform with and to create music with Western artists, that it's connecting better with Western listeners or the Western industry. Love Yourself Tear, it deserved album of the year. Yeah, I agree. Love Yourself Tear is one of my favorite albums. Well, yeah. And it's so, hold on, my cat is scratching at the door. And I listened to that album. I wore away like my eardrums with how often I listened to it. They're so great that it couldn't be ignored anymore. Hell yeah. The Grammy Butter performance really made people pay attention, as it should have. While the rest of us just shook our heads and we're like, yeah, they've always done this. You guys missed out on Mama and MMA performances that were just mind-blowingly good. Mind-blowingly beyond anything they've done for the Grammys. And it's just crazy because I think some of the performances for Mama and MMA were like artistic, high art masterpieces. And the Western music industry will never know like what they missed out on. Tear Mott 7 should have been nominated, or at least one of the songs. Yeah, I know. Mott 7 deserved a nomination. I agree. We're all on the same page. Mott 7 did get robbed. Yeah, I think in part it was that was the start of the pandemic, and shit just, things got swept away in all the fear and death and the world shutting down, historically unprecedented. You're right, because the album came out in February 2020, and shutdowns in America started happening in March. All the stuff that BTS was scheduled to do, their tours, obviously, all of the promotions that they were going to do for their music all across the country in tandem with their concerts, all of that was lost. All of that attention and consideration that they would have been given from the industry had they physically been there was lost. And I think that stuff is necessary when it comes to getting your music like socialized in the industry. Idol MMA performance. I remember my jaw was on the floor. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I watched that. Like I watched it. I was like, I cannot believe this is real. I cannot believe they actually did this and were given this huge time slot. I remember going to work and I would be like, coworkers, come here. Give me 20, 30 minutes of your life. We're going to watch this thing. I don't care. You don't need to know. Just watch. American music award shows don't give the time needed to accept an award or perform properly. Agreed. Everything is always so rushed. I like that Korean award shows give them time. I agree. The problem is though is that like it feels like Western artists, when they go on stage to accept an award at an award show, they feel the need to list out everyone in their life, like thanks to blah blah blah, and then they just start listing as if like they're the credits of a movie. And I'm like, you know, like, can you really not think of a more interesting thing to say? Like, do they all feel like they have to shine a spotlight on the people they've worked with, or else they're gonna be like in trouble? Because they do it like that everywhere. They do it, same thing at like the Oscars and all the like TV award shows as well. Like everyone just starts listing everyone they've ever worked with, and I'm like, is that really the best way to thank these people like on the stage? Like the minute you start listing off names, all of us tune out. It would be so much nicer if you just had like something else prepared to say. And is that too much to ask? The Mott 7 tour is going to be huge too. They had the same company that was helped with Beyonce's tours. I'm never getting over that look. I know. I had tickets to 5 shows. I was going to follow them across the country a little bit. And they were really good floor seats. I was prepped. I was primed and ready to go. And yeah, in a different timeline, we all went to those concerts and lived happily ever after. Alas, we are not in the best timeline, so we have to make do with what we got. But in our timeline, we got B, an unplanned, unscheduled album that is full of incredible music that really showcases them as mature, like growing solo artists into where they are today. And we got Yet to Come, and we got Run BTS, and we got For Youth, and we got a beautiful, because that's the other thing. If the pandemic had never happened, Mott 7 would have been their goodbye to us. And it's a great bookend to their musical career. It's a beautiful album. It's really emotional, especially We're Bulletproof the Eternal, which I still can't listen to this day. But I wanted a longer goodbye than that. So Yet to Come is, in my opinion, a better this might be just me, but to me it's a better goodbye song than We Are Bulletproof the Eternal, because We Are Bulletproof the Eternal is so raw in the emotion it's conveying. I can't listen to it. I just can't. I sob every time. Yet to Come is something I can play on repeat because it's hopeful, because it's saying like the past was honestly the best, but my best is what comes next. Like, don't worry, like the best is yet to come. Like, you can love everything that's happened up until this point and be really excited for everything that's coming after. And I like that message more. It's easier for me to like listen to it and think about that concept. My Mott 7 shirts are still unopened. Ooh, yikes. They are taking it one step at a time. As Yoongi shared in an interview once, any tree can be felled with 10 strokes of an axe. Yes, very true. It's a double-edged sword with Korean award shows because we're held hostage for 6 hours. Yes, very true. That is alas the unfortunate part of it. But yeah, the stage performances aren't given the same attention as they do on Mama and MMA. Yeah, I know, and that's to their detriment. Like, I feel like for some reason, what the Western music industry, the American music industry, thinks that the casual listener does not want to watch long performances. And I don't think that's the case. I think people don't want to watch performances that suck or are from artists who are inorganically pumped up on the charts through labels and radio play and payola. But if it's an artist that people actually care about and the performance has been thought out and every detail has been considered and everything has been executed to the best of everyone's ability to create this like incredible performance, then yeah, we want to watch that. And I would watch that for any artist, not just BTS. The problem is that I watch BTS because BTS care about all of that, and their staff and their company, they care about all of that. These other artists don't want to do it. Like, very, very few of them have like dancing and singing, instrument playing, a beautiful stage design. Like, think of all the Grammy like designs for their stages that people perform on. They're very like I don't know, like generic. Very few of them are detailed and like the way a BTS stage is. And again, I know like I have a bias because I love BTS, but also like I don't think my preferences for like intricate, thought out, like incredible, hyped up performances is unique. I think most people enjoy that. But for some reason, the West does not want to spend time or money on that. And award shows in Korea and Japan do. So that's why we watch them. The speeches that BTS gave at the 2021 AMAs were great. Yes. Yes. Well, that was also a special experience because that was the first time they were back among their musical peers and they were performing in front of like an audience and there was armies there. It was their first time back in that environment and you could see that it was just like a massive wave hitting them and they were like, oh my god, this is good and scary. And it was leading up to their concerts. And you know, and that I've talked about repeatedly how their first concert at SoFi for PTD, they were scared shitless because it, you know, was the first time that they were doing that, performing in front of so many people after so many years because of that fucking pandemic. But yeah, that's why the 2021 AMAs were great. I'm 2 hours ahead of KST, so when there's Korean award shows, I'm up for BTS till like 1 or 2 a.m. Yikes. Oh no. My chat. You guys talk too quickly for me. My chat is frozen. Okay, there, I know froze. B was beautiful. Another great album. Life Goes On was needed. That song is so beautiful. Yes, agree. And the timing at which it was dropped. Like, they really did give us a great album with B. Yes, and we would never have gotten that. Not the pandemic. We would never have gotten Disease or Telepathy. I need those songs. I think Disease is one of the greatest songs. Like, for me, it's in my top favorites, which is really hard for me to say because I love all of BTS's music, but I really love Disease. Western award shows used to have really interesting stages, not anymore. Agree. There was times when they were great, and then other times I'm like, sometimes it also just looks like the artist showed up at the last minute and they're like, I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm like, that's not really fun for me to watch. Silver lining for Mama being held in the USA. Stage production. This may push other USA-based award shows to step with it. Wait, Mama is being held in the USA? What? What? Mama? Oh, hold on. I'm using too many computers. Mama held in USA. Oh shit. K-pop Mama Wars is coming to the US. Quote, in a few years. No specific time frame has been laid out. But that's awesome. I really think they should come to America. One, because then it'll be held at a time when I can watch it on TV instead of sleep. But two, because I agree with you. I want the influence of a Mama award show to influence the other American award shows, because American award shows are fucking struggling for viewership, for interest. And it's because they don't have awesome stages. They don't have awesome performances. And that's what we fucking want to see. Like, it's not that hard. You have my attention. I'm sitting at home in front of my TV. And I'm ready to talk about it online. Wow me. Wow me. I am your captive audience. And every single year, most of the performances are so mediocre. And I'm like, why do you think this is okay? Why are you surprised that people don't care to tune in? Because if you're giving mediocre performance, you're gonna get mediocre attention. Like, shit in, shit out. Stop scrolling. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I left off in the chat. I understand you in that sense that they were still processing at the end of Mont 7. Since then, they process a little, and yet to come, they start to find solution to grow as human and as artist. Yes, agreed. It's a little less raw. I don't think Mama would be held in the US because it's Mnet Asian Music Awards. I don't know. I just found an article from Billboard saying that Mama's coming to America. Sometime. At some point. Unclear when. The only artist I used to look forward to in Western Music Award shows was Michael Jackson. Yes! Because he was a performer and he understood why people were tuning in. Oh, hold on, my ears hurt. Oof. I'm not good with these headphones. Over-ear headphones, they hurt too much. But I can't use my tiny ones or else I'll have a shit ton of buzzing. 3 years is 2025. Guess who's coming back that year? In 3 years, BTS will be back. Yeah, have BTS come back just in time for Mama to be in the US and have them be like, we're back, bitches, and now we're more ripped and in shape than ever from being in the military. Watch us do fucking flips across the stage. Although, to be fair, like, I'm not putting any pressure myself on BTS. Like, they can come back in 2025, and then I want them to have, like as much time as they need to come up with music to, you know, get back into the swing of things, if that's what they want. You know, because I do believe that being in the military will have a big effect on anyone's mental health. And it will probably have one on BTS. It might have an effect on their physical health. Who knows? And if they don't want to make music until 2026, cool. 2027, cool. I don't care. If they never come back, I will be sad, but that is their prerogative. They have given so much already. I do not demand any more, and I don't expect it. Like, I want them to have the space to figure their shit out. But if they do want to come back, I will be their first fan, you know, like cheering for whatever they want to do. And I don't think I'm alone in that, which is why, again, I think the BTS ARMY relationship is so special. BTS's Butter Grammy performance got so much hype from the locals because of all the effort BTS and Big Hit put into it. Even my friends who aren't BTS fans were texting me about it. That's amazing. And yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's crazy how much effort they put into it compared to other artists, because that was the same year where fucking Justin Bieber was sitting at his piano playing Peaches on repeat. I don't know, just if you have a huge stage that's being televised, you know, across the country, across the globe, you need to wow people. You need to acknowledge the attention that they're giving you by paying it back with an incredible performance. And that's what HYBE understands, and what they've literally made a foundational, like, pillar of their strategy. You You have to wow your audience. You have to do it bigger and better than before. And it has to be as high quality as you can possibly make it. It's like, it's a simple rule, but yet other people, other labels, other artists don't want to follow it. I don't know. It's always been like that. I feel like that's why us gravitated towards BTS, towards maybe other K-pop artists, because the emphasis in the East, you know, in Korea, in K-pop, has been like a multi-dimensional music experience where you have the choreo, you have the concepts, you have the outfits, you have the music, like you have the group performances. It's the bigger wow factor. JK after the military. Yeah. Have army bomb will travel. Hey. I wonder what Weverse Con will look like this year since COVID restrictions are gone. You know, for a minute, I thought you were talking about a convention instead of a concert. And I was gonna be like, oh, the Weverse convention. Are we celebrating Weverse as like a company? Or yeah, I wonder if they're doing their New Year's concert. That'll be cool to see. They might not be ready with an album by the time Mama in the US comes around, and I'm fine with that because making music takes a lot of effort. Yes. And isn't that great that we understand that because we're close enough to our artists that we don't expect them to drop songs on us like candy and consume them like candy, as in we just, you know, listen to them once and then move on. We understand how much heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears goes into making music, into pouring, you know, their soul, their honesty, their sincerity into their music, and we appreciate it for what it is. That is the ultimate fan-artist relationship. If BTS does decide to go to perform My Universe with Coldplay, I feel like both groups would put on a show because Coldplay doesn't slack off. They care about staging performance as much as BTS, I think. Yeah, that would be really great. You know what? I just remembered Coldplay exists. Yes, they could also perform My Universe. That would be awesome if they did. There's so many things that they can do at the Grammys now, which is why I think they should do everything. Because you know that if they did all of those songs, ARMY would promote and celebrate the fuck out of that. That would be our way of saying thank you. We will now make sure everyone and their mother have seen this. Like the way that AMAs gave BTS 2 songs. Which were... What were they? They performed Butter. And they performed something else. What was the other song they performed? And I remember I was really grateful. I was like, thank you for... They performed My Universe, right? Or am I crazy? I don't remember anymore, but I just remember being like, thank you for understanding that we have earned the right to 2 songs because ARMY are the ones tuning into your show and driving your viewership. Please give us what we want. It was My Universe. Okay, good. The Grammys is one of the biggest stages, especially in front of the industry. Why not take the opportunity to show what you can really do as an artist? Exactly! And yet, I feel like maybe some of them are like, I'm gonna do this minimalistically so that, you know, I'm you know, making a statement that it's like all you need is me and my voice, and you know, I'll put on a great performance. No, it's not enough. I'm sorry. It may be enough if you're physically in person, like watching it live, but if you're watching something through a screen, there has to be more to it. Okay, we live in an age where everything is trying to grab your attention on the internet, on any screen. So if you as an artist want my attention more than any of those for a brief moment in time, you need to be more thoughtful, more, you know, hype, more intricate, more involved than anything else. Like, you need to work to take my attention back. Honestly, if they take 2025 as a sabbatical, we fine. Exactly. We're totally fine. We won't even blink. We'll just be like, okay, hope you guys are enjoying your time off. It's the same way that like I've said this repeatedly. My friends, my coworkers are like, "Are you okay with BTS, going solo?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Are you okay with BTS going to the military? How are you?" I'm like, "I'm fine because I'm an adult and I can appreciate everything that BTS has given me, and I can wait for them to come back, or I can find a way to move forward without them and in the joy of everything they have ever given me." It's not that hard. They are artists, not performers. Artists. I feel like so many artists think it's cooler to look nonchalant. They do. To look like they don't care, like nothing affects them. In the end, it doesn't look effortless. It looks lazy. A work you're supposed to be putting in. So even when you think you're being effortless, the people watching you are like, "No, you're not. Who are you trying to fool?" I feel like the overall standard for performance in the West has kind of been meh. Agreed. Like some artists will show up hard when they see fit, but I don't think it's very consistent. Yeah, and that consistency kills them because you need consistency. The consistency with BTS and HYBE is why we are so loyal, because we know we're going to get this consistency in our quality. Even if it's just vocal line performing The Truth Untold and rap line performing they will still kill that stage. I miss Love Yourself and Speak Yourself era. Oh, for Truth Untold, yeah. And then have we ever... The only place they've ever performed live was at the concert in Busan, right? The only other time I recall them ever performing that was in the 2020 Festa. I feel like the Grammys just never want to take advantage of giving BTS a longer time on stage, which is funny because it would benefit them too. AMAs was smart. Exactly. 100%. Like, Grammys, if you give them more time, ARMY will support that. Well, I mean, the problem is that like we're also in a place where we just have kind of all decided, no, we actually fucking hate you. You've done things that are irredeemably bad. But again, if they really wanted to turn their act around and they gave BTS if they gave BTS 3 songs to perform, I would be listening. I'd be like, okay, you've shown me some goodwill. If they only give them 1, I'll be like, okay, Grammys is more bullshit. BTS at the event means no need to give up free tickets and solicit for seat fillers. Yeah, it also means that people will scalp them and sell those seats at higher prices, but that's the problem when you are very in demand and you are, as a fan, are willing to go to any venue possible to see your beloved artists. It also feels like these days with how I don't know, like unpredictable the schedule is with BTS, anytime there's a chance to see them feels like really precious and rare and like potentially the last moment. So all of us are like, we gotta go, this may be the last time. And I mean, it always kind of felt like that, but we also were like, it's okay. If we don't go to this concert, there'll be another one. They have another concert coming up, another tour, another location. And now that they're all doing solo stuff, it's like, okay, well, the schedule's no longer predictable. Maybe I have to go to this and everything else. Or maybe we're just justifying it for ourselves. Justifying spending all that money. Anyway. Oh, that's probably a good place to end this. Thank you for spending time with me yet again. I'm really glad that I was able to catch you all before my trip and that we could talk about why HYBE really cares and why I feel valued, why we should all feel valued as fans, and, you know, look forward to the future because the best is yet to come. Alrighty, so I will probably see you on the flip side. Maybe I will chat with you guys again at the end of the month or in December. maybe I still need to do my Legacy of BTS and ARMY video. I have that presentation. It's mostly ready. Maybe I'll do that in December as a way to cap off the year. But yeah, if you guys have anything that you feel like we should stream about and chat about with, let me know. Especially with Twitter going into the shitter, you know, maybe we can use these streams as just also a way to just hang out and chat a little bit and be in a little bubble of ARMY and not have to worry about Twitter exploding. But first, I do have to figure out how to make sure YouTube doesn't implode on me. Maybe it's not completely stable yet, but I'm working on it. I think I fixed some more problems. Knock on wood that more problems don't result from what I fixed today. But yeah, okay. Alrighty, guys. Have a lovely evening, night, morning, afternoon, wherever in the world you are. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.